Thank you for the coffee, darling. Thank you. It's making my morning. I love it. Yummy. She's here. Hey, Kat.
Yes.
Before everybody jumps on, can you, Kim has a meeting with me on the calendar today. Can you invite all sales and project managers and ops? And what Kim is going to be scheduling these meetings with me on a regular basis. I want you to invite all sales and all ops to every one of the meetings that I accept with Kim. We're doing strategic reviews of existing clients.
Absolutely. And that's for this afternoon. I saw that. I'll do it.
Yes. Thank you. And you can tell her to do that going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go on mute, Jen. I've got to call in, but I'll be there.
All right. I'm making you a co-host.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining the call. As you jump on the call, please take a moment to learn the navigation on the GoToMeeting control panel. There is an icon that says mute so that you're able to mute and unmute. Go ahead and check that out. If you have any background noise, go ahead and mute now, and then you'll be able to unmute and ask questions, communicate during the call. And then while we're waiting for everybody to join, in addition to that, there is an area on the control panel that allows you to chat. You're going to be using that chat box on a regular basis. So as you jump on the call, please do me a favor and go ahead and chat your name, email, and phone number address in that chat box. That way we've got a good list of everybody that's attended today. And I'm going to put you back on mute as we wait for additional guests to join. All right, you guys, we've still got people joining. If you'll please be so kind as to check out the control panel, find the mute button, So you can mute and unmute. Also, you should be receiving a notification if you are viewing this from a computer, which you're definitely going to want to be able to make sure you're on the video and you can see my screen. In the chat box on your control panel, go ahead and leave your name, phone number, and email. And we'll get started here in just a moment. All right, good morning, everybody. Do we have Rob Hayes on the call? Good job, Josh. Great job, Clayton. Thank you so much, you guys. All right, let's give Rob a moment to be able to join us as well. I see one additional attendee who has not left his contact information yet. And it's a 469 number. Oh, no, you're good. See you, Elijah. All right, you guys. So for those of you that are already on the call, before we get started, let's also have you go ahead and do me a favor. In the control panel in the chat, go ahead and drop a couple dealer names and or websites addresses that you want me to do a quick evaluation on to give you some pointers and tips as we go through the training today. You can leave either the company name or the website address, either one of them. And we'll do some evals right in front of you so you've got some good information on the dealers. These may be dealers that you're currently working with, dealers you're trying to recruit, that you're not currently selling to. In addition to that, when you're leaving website addresses and or company names, go ahead and mix it up a little bit. Drop in somebody who's a smaller dealer that you're trying to recruit and a larger dealer, and I will be able to predict what size of a dealer it is during the call. And I'll show you how to do the same thing. So when you guys are trying to recruit dealers, you'll be able to determine the potential size of the dealer before even having a conversation with them. Good morning. I hear somebody unmuting. All right, you guys, it's 5 after. I know everybody's busy, so let's go ahead and get started. And we'll allow those that are joining a little bit late to pop in. Kathy Marshall, if you'll manage the attendees that request to join, that would be fantastic. Thanks so much, everyone, for attending. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules in order to attend this training. I believe you will find it a worthwhile time investment for you as well as your future. With that, I'm Jennifer Bagley, CEO of CIA Web Group, and CIA Web Group is a preferred digital marketing company for Goodman, Amana, Daikin, and we look forward to being able to work with you guys. real quick, we're going to jump in and talk a little bit about why digital marketing is important with your dealers. Give you guys some tools, tips, and tricks to be able to help your dealers buy more product from you. It's as simple as that. First and foremost, the thing that I want you guys to really focus on is who are the dealers? What are they? And when it boils down to it, these guys are entrepreneurs. That's a big word. At some point, they sat down with their family and they had a big conversation with them and said, you know what, I'm going to quit my day job. I'm going to quit the benefits, all the other things that come with being employed, and we're going to dump everything that we have, rack up our credit cards, possibly mortgage our house in order to start a business. And they do this all with one objective. I can ask any group of entrepreneurs, and I speak about 200 times a year to over 100,000 entrepreneurs, and I can ask any audience the same thing. Why the heck did you do it? Why did you become an entrepreneur? And it boils down to three things. I want more time, money, and freedom. And they have literally agreed as a family to put everything that they have into this goal of having more time, money, and freedom. Now, in an audience, when I'm talking to them, it almost looks exhausting when they say it, because I can ask them a simple question such as, do you feel like you have it? Do you feel like you have more time, money, and freedom? And the answer is notoriously no, I do not. It's an unrealistic objective for most of these guys, as well as a lot of times once they've started their businesses, they forget why they started. They forget that they actually made this decision because of this dream. So I tell everyone when we first start off at a session, I want you guys to make it a goal. A goal. Let's get back to the roots of why you started this business. I want your goal to be able to take 3 weeks off during the middle of summer. If you can imagine an audience full of HVAC guys, with that being said, I kind of get a couple crazy little snickers. Their laughs are funny. And they sit back in their chair and they're like, yeah, right. That's impossible. But I know they didn't start these businesses to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to spend all of their money trying to build the business. There's a greater purpose and a reason for their family. And we have to remember that when we're taking care of these families. That's what this is the way that CI Web Group looks at our client base, looks at our dealer base, is we are fully responsible for the success of a lot of family dreams, and they are responsible for all of their employees' livelihoods. And so we have to look at our role in their business with that at heart. For those of you that just joined the call, do me a favor, if you'll mute, and Kathy, if you can manage the mutes if they're unable to find it, there is a button in the top right corner. If you can hit mute on that, if you've got any background noise, you can unmute when we've got time for questions. That would be awesome. So strategically, the reason I tell you this is because if we don't know that, we don't have clarity on who we're talking to. If we as a business providing advice, consulting to another company, if we don't have clarity on who they are, where they want to go, and what are they working with, then we can't properly give them advice. And a lot of times these guys are sitting here with listening to a salesperson with a catalog of wears and tears, and they're not doing their homework. They're not doing their research. You've got a twit standing on stage teaching them how to tweet. Next thing you know, a dealer says, I need a Twitter account. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not yet. In order to properly advise a dealer, we have to have clarity. Without clarity, you cannot focus. Without focus, you cannot execute. And without execution, you cannot win. This is all based on doing the right things in the right order at the right time. Part of clarity is also understanding, how do consumers buy? How do they make their buying decisions? So take off your business hats for just a second and think about, as a consumer, mom, dad, husband, wife, homeowner, what do you do? When you need something, what do? I can ask any audience and I get the exact same answer across the entire group. The entire room will raise their hand and they will say, I Google it. And I'll say, great, does anybody do anything else? No one raises their hands. How do you find a product or service when you need something? I Google it. Then what? Well, if they're on the first page of Google, not the ads, majority of the room will not say they click on the ads. Some of the room will say they click on the maps. The majority of them will say they click on the organic results right at the bottom of the first page. So they're looking at the top 10 listings on the first page of Google, and they're looking for a website. They'll check out that website. If the website looks great, they'll proceed. The next thing they'll do is they'll go check out the company's reviews. And a lot of females will even look further than that. Women will go look at their social media sites because it's a display of transparency. If every audience I speak to has the same process as a consumer, this is what they go through. If they need something, they Google it. When they Google it, they look on the front page, they glance at the website, then they check out the reviews, and some will even look at their social media sites. I'll ask them, what do they do if the website looks bad and different? What do they do if they go to a website and they cannot tell who you are, what you do, where you do it, how to reach you, or what other people think about you? And the answer is, I keep looking. When you look at their reviews, if you find reviews and they've got 2 reviews with an average of 1.8 stars, what do? Keep looking. The entire audience raises their hands. If the last time they posted something on their social media accounts was 2014, what is your perception of the business? They're out of business. If every audience says the exact same thing, the beauty of that is it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand marketing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand, how do I need to market my business? How do I make my business grow? If everybody goes through the same process, and especially specific generations that I'm trying to target, and the specific generations that are taking over, growing into the next buying group. If everyone follows the same process, it makes it really clear to know, what do I need to focus on? What's important? With that, CI Web Group has built a program. It's called the 12-Step Roadmap to Achieve Accelerated Results. And it's a system that's all designed to do the right things in the right order at the right time. It's designed to help a dealer grow by giving them a systemic way to be able to make buying decisions when it comes to building their business, growing their business, marketing their business. And everything is interdependent. That's a big term today. Everything is interdependent. Essentially, that means when you do the right things in the wrong order, you're going to get negative results. So we're going to get started on the 12-step roadmap. I'm going to give you a brief overview, and we'll touch on each one of these things with just a little piece of information, give you some examples. First and foremost, your website is most important. The website, as far as the design, the infrastructure, the code, is it current with Google's current requirements? Does it meet today's technology requirements? Does it display and render properly on a cell phone or a mobile device? Step 2, content. It's your ability to speak. Essentially, content in the web world is like having a product in your store. It's a pair of shoes. In this world, content is broken down into, what do you want to sell? Where do you want to sell it? And how are consumers searching for it? In your world, content is simple. There are basic searches that consumers are going through. AC repair in blank. And blank is a city. AC repair, AC service, AC maintenance, AC tune-up, AC installation, AC replacement, air conditioner service, air conditioner repair, air conditioner installation, air conditioner maintenance. If you're from Washington or California, then you probably refer to heating as a heater. They don't say the word furnace. A furnace is something in Freddy Krueger's basement. That's scary. It's in horror movies. But if you're from Chicago, you'll never say the word heater. You're going to say the word furnace or boiler. So some of the consumers are not from the direct area that your dealers reside. Some of them are reloads, especially in Texas. Everybody loves to relocate to Texas. You got good weather most of the year, inexpensive to live. There's lots of reasons that people and companies are relocating to Texas. So they have to think that Texas especially has to think of themselves as the world of many, that all of the people they're trying to target to are not directly from Texas. There's a lot of people that relocate to Texas. Step number 3, CRM and online scheduling. If you guys think about your own business, your personal business, forget about all this stuff, but in your own personal business, when do you have the ability to take care of your honey to-do list? When do you get to take care of things like your home and your air conditioner or your roof repaired or getting your gutters cleaned and stuff like that. It sure the heck is not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So when a business, HVAC, that's already not a fun experience for most homeowners and expensive to most homeowners, has their operating hours set in a digital environment as open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, they're essentially saying, I can't help you when you need help because they need help after hours. Not saying that they can't take a lunch break and place a call to talk about a new system. They want to install a new ductless system, or they want to replace their air conditioner, or they need to schedule a tune-up. But what needs to happen is the website needs to be open for business 24/7, not emergency service, open for business. So if I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm going through my checklist, the ping pong balls are bouncing around in my head, I can go, shoot, I got to schedule that repair. I got to schedule that new installation. Let me jump on this website right quick. I can schedule an appointment to be able to talk to somebody tomorrow on my lunch break at noon or in between meetings. We need to make it easy for consumers to do business with our dealers. Step 4, local listings. That's like telling your kids to clean their room. They have to do it. We'll get into more of that later. Reviews. Thanks to major companies like Amazon, consumers are operating in a subconscious state where those little stars are going to make or break your dealer's opportunity to be able to sell. If the stars look bad or non-existent, they're not going to win the business. They're not even going to have a chance to pitch the business because consumers are majority making their decisions prior to even calling the company, which means you don't get an opportunity to sell at the table because the consumer is making the decision prior to ever contacting your company, and that goes for referral business as well as those who are searching online. If I refer you to a company, are you going to Google them first? Will you look at their reviews? And if the reviews and or the website look bad, are you going to continue or are you going to keep looking? Even if it was a referral from your mother, the audience is saying that they're going to keep looking. Social media is pretty simple. Got to do it. People live in that space. Phase 2. Phase 2 of marketing is usually phase 1 for most small businesses because they don't know what to do, so they try and see what is everybody else doing. So they'll focus on traditional advertising, maybe buy some pay-per-click, do some mailers, flyers, and so forth. Remember, as an entrepreneur, we need to teach these dealers to invest in their business. They need to invest in things that provide permanent, long-term, compounding interest impacts on their business. That's what equals growth. If I burn and turn through cash trying to get business in the door quickly, investing in pay-per-click or temporary advertising like mailers and flyers and door hangers and TV and radio and billboards and all of these other things, I'm essentially burning through the cash that I have, not making any permanent investment in my business. I have nothing when I run out of cash or stop spending. That doesn't work in an entrepreneurial environment where they're actually trying to get a life that includes a little bit of time, money, and freedom. So by following this process, ensuring that phase 1, step 1 through 6, is on point, that you've taken care of your business, that these things are in place, it allows you to move to phase 2. Now you can start thinking about search engine optimization or being on page 1 of Google for the service you want to sell in the city you want to sell it, where consumers are looking. Search engine optimization can't be done effectively or properly without these things being in place. And if you have a dealer that's paying for search engine optimization, they're on page 1 of Google, they've got content on their website, they're an option. If their reviews look bad, that's an exit. Consumers will leave. If their website looks bad, that's an exit. Consumers will leave. So the majority of marketing companies that are out there have no problem selling what the dealer says they want, even if the dealer doesn't know any better, that it's not the right time for them to invest in that. A lot of these dealers, they will choose, or their logic behind selection of a marketing company is, are they in my backyard? Are they close? Can I walk into their office and get on them? Here's the thing to really think about. The average digital marketing agency reports to no one except their customer. Does a dealer have the ability, tribal knowledge, or experience to be able to truly manage a technical marketing team and keep them in check? Know whether or not they're doing the right thing, whether or not they're doing anything at all. Do they have the ability to manage a marketing agency? The answer is notoriously going to be no. They cannot do that. So they find themselves frustrated, even though they thought that making the decision to have a local marketing agency represent them was the smart one. Here's the difference with CI Web Group. CI Web Group has been the preferred digital marketing agency for Goodman, Manna, Daikin, Franklin PLP, and many of their independent distributors for many years. We report to our manufacturers and our distributors as our partners and, quite frankly, our bosses. We work for you guys. We work for our manufacturers. It's important that we have the ability to be completely transparent, to provide reporting, to be accountable to the services that we're providing to your dealers because we're accountable to you. And that's a huge difference. The other major difference in working with CI Web Group over working with another agency is we are an international company, both in customers and in team. Our business has the ability to see where Google is testing, what they're testing in the areas that Google tests. When Google makes a major change, it doesn't make a major change in El Paso, Texas, or San Antonio, Texas, or Dallas, or Houston, or anywhere in Texas. It makes major changes in areas like Toronto, Canada, the Bay Area, or San Francisco, Sacramento, inside California. So our dealers that are in these test areas, we're able to see the results of those new requirements or Google algorithm changes way before they get rolled out to somewhere like Texas. Unfortunately, those dealers who are in those test areas, they get the impact of those tests first, but we're able to advise all of our clients from around the nation and abroad that these changes are coming. We've seen it. We've been able to experience. We know what's happening within the digital space, and we're able to properly give them advice. When you have a company that only does business locally, they're blind to what's happening across the board. They don't get to experience those changes and be able to prevent other dealers from going through the same thing that their clients may have gone through in those areas. So again, on phase 2, this is truly phase 2. I'll have dealers that contact us all the time and they'll say, Jen, need a Twitter account. No, you don't. Jen, I want to advertise in blank. No, you don't. Jen, I want to invest in pay-per-click. No, you don't. Why? Because your website's not done yet. You don't even have content on your website, which your content is the products you want to sell. You don't have content for the products on your website that you want to sell. Why do you want to advertise pay-per-click if your store is empty and void of the things that you want to bring to market? That doesn't make sense. So having a strategic advisor that understands the HVAC business, understands the industry, how consumers buy, and is not just trying to sell things out of a catalog to your dealers is really important. This is also one of the things that frustrates TSMs a lot. A lot of times TSMs want the easiest way out. They want us to give me a package. Give me a package. No, I don't know what they need. How can I advise you on a package if I don't know what they need? We have to do their homework. In order to help someone get somewhere, we got to know, where are you? Where do you want to go? And what are you working with? What kind of assets do you have? How long have you been in business? How well is your website performing? How well do your social media accounts perform? Do you have positive reviews, more than negative reviews? Do you look good online? Do you have a database of customers? Do you have maintenance agreements and recurring income? Are you offering financing? We have to know the bottom line of the company to be able to make an educated recommendation. So we have to do our research first. As I said, everything is interdependent. If you're doing one or two of these things on the 12-step roadmap, you're probably not getting the greatest benefit. If you take care of step 1 through 6, then you can get into step 7 and truly start seeing your business grow. So I believe we're all in the same boat as far as how consumers search. They essentially go to Google, they do a search. You guys, do me a favor, in the chat box, drop down some of the cities that are most important to you. What are the cities that your dealers are in that you guys want to sell more boxes to? Or feel free to unmute and just tell me the cities.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, all right. Thank you, sir. Who was that?
Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Hey.
All right, so this is a really good example. And while I'm doing this search, you guys, I didn't see anybody put in any dealers, company names, or websites. So take a minute, drop in either a dealer name. They can be our current clients. If you want us to do an assessment on those, we evaluate. I can rip any company to shreds, even if we're the ones providing marketing, because they're never done. They're never at a stopping point. There's always more to do. So feel free to put any sites and or company names inside the chat box, and we'll look at those. So Rob, for Austin, Texas, the way to look at your dealers as far as how quickly can we get these dealers to increase the number of purchases they're getting from you, it depends partly on location. If you're trying to get more sales out of a dealer that is smack dab in the middle of Austin, if their business is in Austin, Austin is a major metropolitan area, Austin, Houston, Dallas, and so forth. So you're going to have a high number of competitive pages in that drawer. There's 5.7 million pages in this drawer. So let me remind you guys of a movie. Have you ever seen Bruce Almighty? Think about the movie Bruce Almighty. Okay, and God is standing in this warehouse, big, huge warehouse. There's a file cabinet inside the warehouse, and he said, anything you've ever thought, anything you've ever said, anything you've ever dreamt is in this drawer. And this drawer flies across the entire warehouse, millions of pieces of paper in that drawer. Essentially, that drawer and that file cabinet is Google. So for the search, AC installation in Austin, a drawer flew open, and inside that drawer, there are 5.7 million pages in that drawer. If we go back to how do consumers search, where do they click? Essentially, your dealer needs to be in the top 10 of 5.7 million in order to make any money. So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to grab some of these accounts, and I'm going to drop their websites in here, and I want to give you a benchmark. You guys can use this for recruiting. If I go take this website, so the first thing I know is they're on page 1 of Google for a very popular search term. If I get rid of the W's and I put the word site, colon, and hit enter, what it's going to show me is the total number of pages in that drawer. Let me go grab another one. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Are either of these guys your client? So Strand Brothers or AC Pros, are you guys working with that, either of those? And you guys can feel free to unmute for this.
No.
Okay. So if you think about a website as their pieces of paper for the things they want to sell, right here, you're going to see this guy wants to sell air conditioning or heating and air conditioning in, oh God, Pflugerville. Did I say that right? I think. Then we have Lakeway Heating and AC Repair Services. First thing I would recommend with this company, and for all of your guys' dealers, they operate 2 different distinct businesses, especially in Texas. You guys don't even really get four businesses because you don't have 4 seasons. You have 2 for the most part, a little bit of fall and spring. Okay, they offer an air conditioning business, which during the middle of summer, it's hot as all get out. People are boiling, and if their air conditioner breaks, it's an emergency. And you have a heating business where during a handful of small months, it's cold, consumers are cold, and you sell furnaces and heaters. When they merge these things into one bucket, they're essentially diluting the page by 50%. If they were to separate them and have air conditioner, and is it service, is it installation, is it repair, is it maintenance, and so forth, if we think more about how the consumers search in the city they want to sell, so for this particular one, it's Pflugerville, if I can even say that right. I'll never be able to spell that. Okay, if we're able to separate these, what you're going to get is a page that's going to have a better opportunity to show up on page 1 of Google. These guys have 547 pages inside Google's drawer. Each page gives them an opportunity to get found for a particular service or product that a consumer is searching for. So if I look for Austin HVAC repair and service, there's 4.4 million pages in this drawer. You're going to notice Strand Brothers shows up right on time because the words Austin, service, heating and air conditioning, and HVAC are all used inside their titles and text. Okay, that's a cash machine. If we look for each city, these are all the cities they want to do business in. There's 30,000 pages in this drawer, and they're page one, number one. And not only are they page one, number one, but in addition to that, they have been acquiring reviews on their website, which is allowing them to display those reviews in a search listing. Consumers are more likely to click on these two listings, even if these two listings were down here, page one, and they were position 8 or 9. So you'll see this is the one I just looked for. They have two different listings on here. Consumers are likely going to click on the listing that has the star ratings or the reviews over any of the other listings. And this is thanks to Amazon, I'll say that. Does that make sense? All right. Now for you guys to understand as far as a company and the size of the company, what you'll notice over time, and this does not, Pat, if you'll jump on that. So what this does not include is commercial. Commercial business, that's a little bit different, but for residential, if you want to know if a dealer is doing $1 million or $20 million in gross sales, this is an easy way to determine that. If you look at Strand Brothers, they have 547 pages in their drawer. That means they have 547 opportunities, minus their junk drawer pages, to be able to sell products and services, as long as these pages are on page one of Google, which is where consumers search. So you guys will not have to ask for the business from your dealers. If they're an option for the services they want to sell in the cities they want to sell them, you're not going to have to ask. So your original recommendation was to look for Austin, but what you've noticed in this one, or what you'll see in this one, is they're not just going after Austin. These guys are going after Austin, which is a high competition location, big population, lot of pages, and they're also going after Manor, Georgetown, Lander, and so forth. They're going after all these other geo-targets or other locations, which is going to give them the ability to make money, be an option for the services they want to sell in many other geo-targets that don't have as high a competition. So I'm going to go look up AC installation, MANOR, believe it was, Texas. There's 1.4 million pages in this drawer. As long as these guys are showing up on page one of Google, it would give them the ability to convert that business. And you're going to see Strand Brothers is sitting right here next to Austin Air Conditioning. These two are the only two out of all the dealers on this page that actually have reviews on their page, are showing on page one of Google specifically for air conditioning installation in that particular city. Let me go grab, I'm going to grab Miller Climate Control. And before I go do a big search on this one, I'm going to give you a guesstimate of what I think their annual sales are. And then I'll do a quick eval for you. So I'm going to put in the word site and then colon and do this search. They've got 28 pages in their drawer. So my guess for this dealer, and the only things that will be the exceptions, is if commercial business is a large portion of their business, or if they happen to be in business since 1950. That's just about it. So these guys, I would guess, are probably doing around $2 million in gross sales. Mr. Josh, what do you know about the dealer as far as gross sales and size? Go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, he's only been in business for about 9 months now. He's pretty much just a one-man shop. He's got a sub crew that works for him. So as of right now, he's done about 40,000 in sales
And
since he's opened.
purchases from you guys?
Not from us. We're getting him on board right now. He was a Linux dealer, yeah.
Fantastic. So this number right here, when you're trying to recruit, if you want to know the size of a dealer, this is a really good number to know, because that number probably indicates the volume of sales that these guys are doing on an annual basis. If they have 400 pages on their website, they're probably doing over $3, $4, $5 million in sales. If they've got 600 pages, they may be in the 10 to 20 million. If they've got 20 pages, they're probably doing less than $1 million. So for these guys, that's going to help you when you're trying to recruit. It's also going to help you when you're trying to coach them on how to grow their business. Is if you think of their website like a store, everything they want to sell needs to be in the store, in the cities. So they need stores in more than one city, which means that website needs to show that they want to do business not only in Georgetown, Texas, but as they continue to grow to surrounding areas, when he has more resources to be able to go to the surrounding cities, he's going to need same kind of pages / similar content for cities that are in surrounding areas. So for now, he's focused on furnace service, Georgetown, Texas, air conditioner contractor, indoor air quality. This is actually his homepage. I would not do that. I would not put contractor and indoor air quality in the same thing. I'll come back to that though. Ductless HVAC systems, Georgetown. Whoever's working on their optimization, just on a side note, all of these colons and commas in their titles needs to come out. Those will not help him. Then you have things like heating repairs and replacements. Heating is a function, but what's being replaced is a system, and the consumers are going to refer to it as a heater. So heater repair, Georgetown, Texas. Heater replacement, Georgetown, Texas. Those are two different search terms. They shouldn't be combined on the same page. Thermostats, but we forgot the area. Then we have reviews. Indoor air quality, Georgetown, Texas. What about indoor air quality? Are we doing whole house home purification, whole house humidifiers? Are we doing UV lights? And so forth. So we need to be more specific. But every single page on this guy's website is going to help him generate new business. He's got to be listed. Now, I almost stopped on this one. What you'll notice on this site, first thing, the website is not secure. So it actually is telling consumers that go to this website that this site is not secure. You should not enter any information on it. That's a problem. So little things like that, that's whoever's hosting his website probably is not responsible for his rankings or his marketing, because if an SEO team saw that, they would make them fix it. I'm going to show you a couple websites to give you an idea of what we want to see when we get to a website. When a consumer, so let's say that your dealer does have content inside their site and is an option on page 1 of Google for what they want to be found for. When somebody lands on a site, it's very important the consumer sees who you are, what you sell, where you sell it, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, and what do other people think about you. We need to make sure that their sites are extremely clear and set up for a consumer, because consumers don't have a lot of time. They're not going to do a lot of digging. So same thing here. Who we are, what we do, and these are different seasons. We never want to put these in the same. It's not even the same time of year. Where do we do it? How to reach you, how to reach you, how to reach you, what other people think about you. Those are the base things you need on every website in order to make these guys perform. Now, one thing you guys will notice, I showed you in some of the other searches. If you have a dealer that's sitting on page 1 of Google for 100 phrases, but their reviews look bad, they're probably going to lose the business. So I'm going to pull up your Miller Climate Control and let's get an idea of how they look when somebody searches. So 1 is, are you an option? And 2 is, what do you look like when people get there? So these guys, this is not bad. There's things that I like about this. I don't like that their site's not secure. But if somebody is referred to these guys or they find them online and they go look for their company, this is a great example. They're okay. This is not going to hurt them. They've got 5 reviews on Google. It's not a lot, but the score shows as a 5.0 review. That's good. Their Yelp listings look good. I don't want Yelp that close to their main site, but it's not an exit, and their site says that they're open 24/7. This is not a bad situation. If you guys have other sites you want me to look at, feel free to drop their names or company names in there as well. I'm going to grab this and see. A big win for these guys would be to be able to start acquiring reviews on their website so we could get these listings to show up on Google and look like this. This listing where we have the reviews embedded on their website, this actually gives these guys, it's like a 75% higher conversion ratio. They're more likely to convert new business than anyone else on the page that does not have those reviews. So that could be a really big win for your Miller Climate Control. I don't know what that is. I have pink writing on my screen. Somebody's drawing. So, okay. So with that, you guys, if you have more sites, feel free to drop those in there. Let me show you where some tools are to be able to refer dealers to CI web groups. Some of you guys are going to find this stuff interesting. And whoever's drawing on the screen, if you'll erase your screen. I don't know if Kathy, that's you. But some of you guys are going to find this interesting, and you're going to see the value in being able to play more of a consultative role with your dealers, being able to bring value, help them grow their business, and help them accomplish their original goals. And you guys may want to continue to get educated over time, learn more, be able to use CI Web Group to provide you with reports and analysis and information you can take to a dealer and have more educated conversation with them. Some of them you guys are going to get it. This makes sense. And you just want to refer them over and you don't want to spend too much effort on it. Both of those scenarios are absolutely fine. When you're on the CI Web Group website, I'll just point out where to find a couple things. If you do want us to do a digital evaluation, it's a great overview of how your dealer is ranking, some of the issues that are going on with their site, what the top priorities should be. You can request a digital evaluation here just by filling out this form. In addition to that, you guys can, let me get you Tom's contact information. If you go into Knowledge Base and click on Goodman. So another way to do it, you can just scroll over and click on Goodman here. This video that we're doing right now, this training video will be placed in here. You guys will have a section in here. You'll be able to grab this video. But if you scroll all the way down here, you also have TSM trainings. There are tons of different tools in here. You can go to TSM Sales Tools. This actually has the PowerPoint I went over earlier. There's some great documents, ebooks, downloads, the HVAC marketing guide, the 12-step roadmap that I showed you that has those 12 steps on it. You can download a form called a digital evaluation request form and text in those requests as well. If you just want to, write it down, snap a picture, text them in, you can always text Tom. Also, it says account executives by COD and industry and independents. So you guys, Tom is your main point of contact. He covers your account. This is his contact information. So grab your cell phone, take a picture of this screen, and you'll have his his contact information, and he's easy to get in touch with via text message, direct call. You can send an email as well. And if you have a dealer, you don't even have to have already had a conversation with them. Say you guys are going in and trying to recruit a new dealer and you want some more ammo so you can really walk in there with some information. You guys can request a digital evaluation and we'll prepare that for you. Our team of analysts will prepare that for you with all the reports. It takes about 5 hours to get that done, and depending on how many we have to do, because we do about 1,000 a month, as far as how quickly we need to get it back, you can always call Tom and say, hey, it's a rush. I got a meeting with these guys soon. And then when you go into the dealer, you can say, we have a digital marketing agency. I had them go ahead and do some research on your company. It's got a lot of good information and things that you guys have an opportunity to improve on to be able to really impact your business. If you're interested in setting up a strategy session, I can help coordinate that as well. But our goal is to really make you be able to grow your business. And this is how we do it at Southwest and our standard supply. And this is how we want to be able to help you guys grow your business. So they will see a big difference in what you guys are coming to the table with versus a guy coming in from Lennox who's selling a template-based website as a part of their program that has absolutely no value. So you can really, really stand out. One of the things that I just got done doing one of these webinars for another group of TSMs, and the area sales manager brought up, he said, from their experience, Lennox and Carrier and Train, the way these guys sell their dealers is they have a marketing plan that they get a website. But what they don't take into consideration, or the dealers don't take into consideration, is that the manufacturer owns the website, typically owns the content. The websites are templates and they don't have much value, if any, to the actual dealer, and it's not an owned asset. Every small business should own a website, and that website should be part of what helps their business grow, not only from acquiring new sales, but also saving time, recruiting new staff, and so forth. And they need to own it. And when we were originally being interviewed by Goodman, Amana, and Daikin, we had other manufacturers that were trying to get us to sign on as the preferred agency, and we turned them down. And the reason we did is because Goodman, Amana, Daikin, and Franklin, they actually care about the dealer's overall success. They really do want the dealer to be successful, so they don't mandate that they own the website. They do want us to build, they care about the fact that the websites are crawlable, the content is custom, that we're actually not just selling them a packaged, group of services regardless of what they need, that we do our homework, and that we're not going to advise them incorrectly. We're going to give the dealers advice based on where they are, where they want to go, and what they have as assets, and nothing outside of that. So I think that's really important as a standout difference. You guys can talk about that. This is a huge difference in the way that these other manufacturers are being presented in the industry. I'll tell you, I had a dealer come in. They were doing over 20 million in sales. They were with a different manufacturer that had provided them a website. It was mainly duplicate content. They never owned it. And in a matter of about a year, they wound up losing the majority of their business. They dropped down to doing $1.5 million, $2 million in sales as these new companies popped up who were savvy at digital marketing. Now, if you're doing 20 million in sales and you drop to $1.5 million in sales, you still have $20 million in expenses. So this was a really hard time for them. But because they never owned their website, they had never focused on investing in being an option in the digital space. They were just working this book of business in the file drawers. When they ran out of the business in the file drawers, they effectively almost shot themselves in the foot, because nothing they had online did they own or was working for them. So we were able to rebuild them a website that they owned all new content, properly position them, and their business is now up to about 7 million in sales, and they're recovering from what was a really hard time, and they didn't even know what they were getting into when they chose to go with Lennox. They didn't understand that what they were getting was really a hunk of junk. It wasn't going to provide them any value. So those are important stories for you to be able to talk to when you're talking to other dealers and so forth. Questions? Do you guys have other dealers you want me to look at? Do you have any questions, any thoughts, anything we can help you with out of the gate that's going to make this a little easier for you? And you can unmute. I'm going to unmute you guys so you can talk. Mr. Hunter Kane.
Yes, ma'am.
How you doing?
Another day in paradise.
Fantastic. What I've covered so far, does it make sense? Is this going to be able to help you? Do you find it as important or valuable, or did you just multitask for an hour?
A little of everything there. And from the role I play in the company, I don't deal with upfront sales, but I do see these internet things being a problem. Namely because your bigger dealers throughout the state of Texas have these services already. You talk about people like Strand Brothers, and if you go into Houston, you've got the Airtrons, the people like that who dominate the internet.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Let's pause there for just a second, and let me address that specifically. I'm going to tell you something is coming that can change that. I'm going to go under Help. I wish I could get this pink drawing off my screen. Kathy, can you erase that? And then I'm going to go under Major Announcements, which is right here, and it says Google changes, rolls out the first mobile first requirements, and is re-indexing batches of websites. I have a webinar on here. There's actually a couple of them on here. Google has just launched in November of 2017 a new set of requirements. It's called Mobile First, and they just this month started rolling out prioritizing the sites that are showing on page 1 of Google based on all these new algorithm changes. So here's the opportunity and a little bit of fear. This is one of the largest changes that Google is rolling out in history. Literally 90+% of the existing websites online are not compliant. So when Google rolls something out like this, if these dealers that are currently holding a page 1, position 1 rank, and they've been steadfast there, if their marketing companies and web companies aren't coming to them saying, your website's not going to work with this new compliance requirement. Your website is not compliant with Mobile First initiative. 4 years ago, there was an initiative like this, and it was called Mobile Responsive. Our industry called it Mobile Gettin', where Google came out with a requirement, said, hey, this is recommended, hey, this is preferred, hey, this is a requirement, and if your website is not compliant, we will de-rank you. The amount of major companies that fell off of page 1 over a 6-month period and their businesses tanked was huge. So right now you're in this window of time where these major companies that are currently holding this position, as Google rolls out this preferred and then requirement, if those companies don't revamp their website, revamp the way their content is displayed, and meet these requirements, your dealers right now, the smallest dealers, if they launch a website that is already compliant with this Mobile First initiative, they will have a unique opportunity like they did 4 years ago to take, I was kick butt and take names. I don't know a better version for it. I showed this picture during a live event I did at Duke University the other day, and the audience was sitting in there, and I said, you know what? Everybody wants to freak out when Google has a major change. They're like, I hate Google. This is horrible. This is my dad. and this is my son, and they're on a roller coaster. The roller coaster is scary to both. It's the same ride. My dad chose to smile for the camera, if you can call it a smile, and my son did not. Both were scared. So as these dealers approach this change, they can choose to hate Google for making them have to rebuild their website, making them having to redo everything, or they can say, you know what? This is an opportunity, because all these old guys that have been sitting out here stale and sitting on their laurels and happy with the business they have, owning page one of Google for all these phrases, if they don't pay attention to this, they're going to lose their spot, and this gives me the opportunity to smile and take it. So you have these unique opportunities. Same thing as far as this being able to display stars. This is new. It's starting to get picked up, but those dealers that go, wow, I can actually get on page one of Google and have these stars pop off the page where I'm the only company showcasing these stars, and I can snag the business, even if I'm ranked a little bit lower. It is a wild opportunity right now for those companies who are interested in taking advantage of this massive change and snagging those positions of some of the big boys who have owned those spots for a long time, who quite frankly aren't getting the advice from their agencies that they got a big change coming. They're not going to do anything about it until it's late, and then they're going to try and recover. And that's the time to take the kill. So,
well, isn't your position on Google based on click count?
okay, so what you're talking about is, let me just do so we're all on the same page. When you do a search, AC installation, Manor, Texas, okay, these right here, those are referred to as pay-per-click ads, where you have impressions and you pay per click. What you'll notice on our 12-step roadmap is we don't advise anyone to participate in pay-per-click until we're sitting in step 10. The reason is this is one of those advertising spends that when you spend money on pay-per-click here, when you run out of money or you stop spending, you have absolutely squat. You have nothing after you spend that money. So we're not going to advise dealers to spend money in this environment for any long period of time, and not before they take care of the basics. The other reason we don't advise this is a different kind of shopper. The people that click on pay-per-click ads are usually those investing in it. The Yahoo's trying to charge their competitors $45 a pop. Or the same kind of person that will buy the set of knives on as seen on TV and the knife handles fall off at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a different kind of consumer. When I speak in an audience, I ask every single audience, do you click on the ads? No one raises their hands. So this is not something we advise dealers spend money on, but it's something they want to. They're going to ask, I want a pay-per-click. I want to be in the ads. As an investor in your business, I highly do not recommend this as a strategy. The maps, this is Google business listings on our 12-step roadmap. This is step 4, part of local listings. Extremely important, but it only works in the city that you have a physical address if you have the most reviews, most frequent reviews, and the most new content being posted to your Google business listing. And there's only really 3 options. This Google business listing is also the sole opportunity for your dealer to be an option if the consumer is using AI devices like Google Home or Alexa. If you're talking to Alexa and you say, hey, Alexa, tell me the best air conditioning repair company in blank. Alexa is not actually looking here. Alexa is only pulling up the Google business listings with the best reviews. So you can only play the Alexa and Google Home game if you're on point with your local directory listings. Where consumers search is in the organic listing, which the way to get here is what's referred to as search engine optimization, which is step 7 of the 12-step roadmap. It's on page 2, but step 7 cannot be done effectively unless you have step 1, through 6 on point. They're interdependent. So you can't get on page 1 of Google for air conditioner or high efficiency air conditioner installation in Austin, Texas, if you don't have a page titled high efficiency air conditioner installation in Austin, Texas. It's all labels like files. If you don't have the paper, you can't play the game. If your reviews are bad, it doesn't matter if you get here. It's not going to work. If your social media is not active, then Google says that you have a low freaking score. What is it called? It's social proof score. If your local listings are messed up, then you're going to not get on this page either. So you have to handle, you have to manage step 1 through 6 in order to play the SEO game. The SEO game right here, 90% of all conversions occur on page 1 of Google in the top 10 results here. From here to here. These are ads. People aren't clicking on them. From here to here, these are organic. So there is no cost per click. So for example, for a low competition phrase, if you want to get on page 1 of Google, you're going to have around $100, $150 investment in 1 page of content, one time. You're going to spend $15 a month for around 3.5 months before that page moves to page 1 of Google, and you start making that page generate new business for you. It becomes a cash machine. Once you're sitting on page 1 of Google in this organic listings, you can click on this Austin air conditioning page 500 times, and it doesn't cost you more than $15 a month to be able to optimize for that particular search phrase. So it doesn't work like pay-per-click. This page is permanent. It provides long-term and compounding, meaning the longer it's there, the higher it ranks, the more value it plays for your business. So there's no such thing as a cost per click or cost per impression. Your cost of acquisition is how many new air conditioners did you install in Maine or Texas compared to the $15 you're paying for that search phrase for 12 months. So you may spend $120, $140 per year, and you can install unlimited amount of air conditioning systems in that particular city for that particular phrase and investment. So if your average sale is $4,000 for your air conditioners and your average net revenues the 30%, you're making a heck of a lot of good money. Even if you sold 1 a quarter, you're making well over. If you sold 1 a year, you're making more than you've invested, which is a smarter option than doing something like pay-per-click or mailers or flyers or something where you're spending a ton of money and you have nothing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right on. Good question. Long answer, but it's helpful to have clarity. All right, Mr. Cross. I've unmuted you. Do you have questions, thoughts? Does this make sense? Mr. Wise, unmute yourself. Do you have any thoughts or questions? Norcross, Clayton. Are you on a sales call making money?
No
Miss Jennifer,
question.
if you could,
Good to go.
Miss Jennifer, if you could unshare and then reshare your screen, that might remove that.
All right. I shall do that. Pause. Resume. I don't think it is.
Good try.
I found an eraser. I got this. Watch. Look at that. All
Good
right.
job.
So with that, okay, you guys. So hopefully this is helpful. We're going to send you a copy of this video. We're going to send you a copy of the 12-step roadmap. We're going to give you some links that you can use. And please use us. We're here to support you. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, if the best way that what we've seen has had the most success is when we have a session like this, if you guys come up with 5 dealers each, you send them in, have us do an analysis on them. We can even do it in a group call like this where we'll do the actual analysis in front of you to get you comfortable with being able to look at sites and positions and be able to give a couple pointers to a dealer. That helps. And then if you start having the conversations with your dealers and then making the introduction, we can take it from there. We can put together a plan. You know, I've got dealers that have purchased $1,000 landing page and spend $100 a month. I have dealers that have invested $10, $20, $30,000 on a website over 6 years, and they invest, you know, 10, 15, 20, 30 grand on a monthly basis, and that's less than 1% of their gross revenue. And they've grown into that. Sometimes dealers will say, well, the reason they can pay 30 grand a month is because they do 25 million in sales per year. No, the reason they do 25 million in sales per year is because they followed the 12-step roadmap. When we had our strategy sessions, we identified what's working and they did more of it. What's not working, they reallocated it to something that does work. And what's next? What am I not doing yet that I should be doing? And that mindset is what's going to get your guys' dealers to grow. And it will also put you in a position where you don't have to ask for the business. These guys that don't have a lot of leads coming in, it creates a serious domino effect. When they don't have a lot of leads, they sell the cheapest equipment they can, low price points, low margins. When they sell low price point products because they only had 2 clients to pitch to that month, that turns into them not paying their staff well. When they don't pay their staff well, they have employee issues and recruiting issues, staffing issues, and it just turns into a nightmare. The way that the dealer can sell higher efficient equipment, can have a larger margin when they're pitching, is they got to have more opportunities to be able to present to. If they have more opportunities to present at the table, they're going to have more flexibility to be able to charge more. They're going to pay their employees better. They're going to have better retention. And they're ultimately going to have a stronger business that's growing year over year over year. They can use their accrual dollars towards any of the services with CI Web Group. Obviously, that's simple. And for you guys as sales managers, don't wait until accrual funds are getting ready to expire. Don't wait until March. If a dealer has $600 in accrual funds, shoot, get 6 pages of content optimized on their site and let's get them, you know, ranked and positioned to be able to sell more products for the upcoming season instead of waiting until the end of the year. We need to help them understand how to better invest and to not wait to do this until it's an annual deadline where they got 30 days before it expires. So just some pointers that can kind of help you guys out. If you need samples, so I showed you the TSM trainings. That's there. There are also massive amounts of client testimonial videos. On a monthly and a quarterly basis, we submit all of our clients' results to Goodman, Amana, and Daikin, and they will analyze prior year purchases versus current year purchases. And our average percent increase of purchases for a client who has one of our websites and is on a marketing program is 200% increase in purchases. So you guys being able to hit higher sales numbers, being able to make more money, increase the number of boxes getting out your doors. It's just a matter of getting the infrastructure set up right, keeping these dealers' mindsets in check, helping them continue to reinvest as they continue to grow, and think of this as a lifestyle, not a project. It's not a one-time thing. They need to become marketers, or they need to hire a company that is doing that for them. But feel free to watch any of the videos, client testimonial videos. We've got hundreds of clients that are talking about how they work with CI Web Group, what their results were, how much their business has grown, how they're currently ranking. And a lot of these guys, this one right here, I'll tell you that when we first started working with them, he was a grumpy bumpkin. He didn't believe in any of this stuff. This was all hokey pokey, did not care. And as nervous as he was on this video, his business has grown. He's not operating in his house anymore. He's got multiple trucks on the road. It's not just him and his wife, and being able to see him like that is really awesome. So feel free to use any of those videos. There's tons of them on here. And you can also see the same thing as far as TSMs that have worked with us. You can watch tons of videos from them as well. So you can get an idea of all of our partners and how well our team works with them. So I hope this is helpful, you guys. We're at the top of the hour. I don't want to keep you too long. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can always use the email sales@CI Group, contact Tom direct. And if you'd like to hold another session like this and bring a group of dealers to the table, and I can do this analysis in a group and get you guys more comfortable with looking at the sites and seeing what to look for, I'd be happy to do that anytime. That's what we're here for. And on the final note, if you have a dealer meeting and you guys want to have me speak at that dealer meeting and get them excited about marketing, I would be happy to do so. Same thing if we're in Texas. We obviously travel for 9 months of the year doing this. If we're in Texas, we would be happy to come in and do more of a one-on-one training at your office. We'd be happy to do that as well. So we're here to support you, and I appreciate everybody for taking the time. If there's no further questions, then we'll wrap up, and the next email you'll get is from Tom, and it'll include all the things I mentioned. And with that, we look forward to working with you guys. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Let's make it an awesome summer.